Hello, TopFanRivalry followers and also Astros and Orbit followers and fans. We are going to be quick today because it is 4th of July week and you guys have family in town. You guys are doing all kinds of crazy stuff. So, Susie, how goes it this morning? You ready to talk the Astros? I hear they're doing okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We are stoked here in Astroland in Houston, H-Town holding it down. So we are thrilled.
I all I know is that you guys have hit the gas, decided you guys were going to step it into high gear and hit the gas and giddy up. So why don't we just start there and start telling me about hitting the gas?
Absolutely. So, we quote unquote swept the Rockies. We had that little two-game set with the Rockies, and then we headed to New York and we took 2 out of 3 from New York, and now we are in Canada and we took the first game out of the 4-game set. They are without their closer, Jordan Romano, and it's looking good. Apparently, Vladdy also is having some finger discomfort, so they're playing without one of their big bats. We obviously are playing without one of our big bats, i.e., Kyle Tucker. Sir, I don't know how badly your shin is bruised, but at any point in time, if you could get some sort of like, I don't know, like PRP injection or I don't know, just
Ah,
all of the good healing vibes your way, sir, because your bat is sorely missed in the lineup. But we had a rain delay on Sunday and came back and won that game, and it was awesome. So
yes, you did. Yes, you did.
the vibes are high.
So you were on our live with Phil from Shirley and Big Dave, and they were giving kind of the recap. I was sitting in an airport. That was probably one of the funner, I don't know, what am I saying? I'm listening to Megan here. The more fun series that I've watched this season, just because both of these teams are supposed to be lights out. You started out, no disrespect to you, but you started out a little slower
Yep.
than you wanted. And so, yeah, it was pretty amazing. It's been pretty amazing.
Yeah, yeah. We have essentially an entire starting rotation, pitching rotation on our IL plus some, and we're just going through arms, but through all of that, through all of the trials and tribulations, we've got this, and we've got our bats are heating up, and some young guys are coming through and playing with their hair on fire, and we love that. So
So, define for me what you're seeing. So, the last 2 weeks, you guys have been all kinds of all over the place, which is like you've started to hit your stride. Define for me what's different about the team. Like, did you end up getting your closed door meeting that you wanted? Like, was it something where you shut the doors, closed out the press, and said, "Listen, fellas, I talk about you guys a lot, and don't get me pissed off." Um, and so yeah. So what happened?
well, I personally didn't get the closed door meeting. Basically, whatever, what I had had in mind to say was passed on to the strength and conditioning coach, uh, Hazi Has uh, I can't say his first name, Hasael Wesson, and, he basically just took my words, my message, and passed it on to the team, and, since then, they have gotten better. He passed on the message that I was really disappointed in them, and that I knew that they were a really good team and that they could get out of this, and they said, "You know what? Susie is right. Like, we can definitely do this, and we are sorry that we are disappointing her, especially her, but really the fans of Houston, but most definitely, most especially Susie, and we gotta play better for her." So
So
that's
as long as
that's
they
totally what
understand
happened.
where their bread is buttered, because you don't mess with Susie Q. Like she may be tiny in a tiny package, but she packs a punch.
Oh, for
Everybody,
sure.
like, you better be afraid. Like,
Absolutely.
I mean, step back, as the little dragon says in Mulan, jump back. I'm pretty hot now. I mean, that's
Absolutely.
Susie right
Yes.
there.
For sure, for sure. They were like, "Oh, so sorry, Susie. We were not aware that we were disappointing you, but now that we are aware, now that it's on our radar, we got you." And, so far so good. They've been playing a lot better. They've been passing the baton and not trying to do too much. There's been some small ball played, and we love it here. We love it here.
Um, do you I hate to ask this question because I mean at least we're filming on Zoom, so I don't have the wrath of Susie like punch wise. But does this continue, or have you seen a significant change in the team, or does this is just this kind of like, gee, I hope this continues.
Well, I think it's a mixture of both. I mean, our one of the biggest changes is our starting rotation, going out and having those quality starts. I mean, Hunter Brown just blew up literally in the first half of the season. And since I want to say May like 13th, May 10th, something mid-May,
Mhm.
after the Royals blow up that he had, basically he has gone out and changed his repertoire and just kind of had like a change in mindset, and is going out there and being that top end, almost, I would say, like, Cy Young caliber guy that we know that we've had, and we always have said down here that he is baby JV, and now that he's in a rotation with JV and JV can tutor him and blah, 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 when really, apparently, Chandler Rome wrote this in the Athletic, that it's really been Ryan Presley and Alex Bregman that have kind of taken him under their wing and kinda given him the tutelage and just the confidence, and Alex Bregman being the catalyst in telling him that he needs to control the inner half of the plate and that he needs to come up with a pitch to control the inner half was not on my radar, was not on my baseball bingo card. And so the fact that Bregman, you know, suggested that he use a sinker to kind of get guys off of, his other stuff, and apparently his sinker is not a quote unquote "true sinker," and it just gives it a different look, and, the righties are not used to it, and so they were just sitting on pitches kinda outside of the plate, and they without really having to protect the inner half, and the fact that he has introduced that, and now they're like, "Oh, crap, now I gotta cover all of the plates," like, this is
Mhm.
not what we wanted to do. This was not on our baseball bingo card, not on our scouting reports, and since then, he has dropped his ERA drastically. I think it was in the 9s or 10s, and now it's in the low 4s, which is phenomenal. I mean, since that mid-May point, he has dropped his ERA, I wanna say, to, like, minuscule levels, like sub-2 ERAs type
So,
levels. I wanna say the
so,
last time I looked, it was like 1.16.
mhm.
So, great time there, great time.
So let me ask you this question. Does that play different? So Breckman obviously is in a contract year. Does that make you look at him and look at him differently? And say, gee, this is a guy we want to keep around because he's good in the clubhouse. Or is it one of those things where you look at it and you say, produce for me on the field and the clubhouse. I don't care about the clubhouse.
I A little of both, a little of both. I don't know if, especially with the horrific start that he had to this season, I don't know if it negates that. I don't think we're gonna give him the years that he wants, and that's the big hang up. I think the money can be there. I just don't think the years will be, and unfortunately, I think that will be the hang up for him. But we'll see what happens.
So do you okay, so you got a direct line to Uncle Jimmy, okay? And you call him up and you say, Uncle Jimmy, here's what I would do. Let me backtrack. Would you offer Alex Breckman a contract? And if so, what would it be?
I don't know. I don't know because he's making 20-ish million a year now. So I don't know. I don't know. I honestly think he wants a longer contract than 5 years, and I don't know if we're gonna give that to him. And I mean, I wanna say his contract extension was 100 million last time. So I don't know. I don't know. I am wishy-washy on money. Obviously, it's not my money, so I shouldn't be, but I am wishy-washy on it. So,
Um,
get back to me.
the I see here's it's obviously not our money, but I think that the players are way overpaid right now, and that needs to taper itself down. But again, how are you going to get good talent if you're not going to spend some money, right? So I don't know. I like I like Brakeman for you guys. I would love for you guys to keep him, but you're right. He may get the dollars, he may not get the years.
Yeah, and I think after last season, after, Matt Chapman not having all of the offers that he thought he was gonna have kind of reset itself, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I think maybe the league is a little tired of one agent in particular. We shall not name him directly, but you know who I'm talking about. And maybe they're not willing to play as much hardball as they have in the past.
Well, his last name rhymes with Forrest, and so yeah, that particular yeah, yeah. And that particular agent may or may not have egg all over his face for what he did last season. So, I
Yep.
mean, what I at least one of his clients fired him. So
Yeah.
we know that there's a lot, to be said about that. So anyways, well, Susie, real quick, because again, it's Fourth of July weekend. People are probably gonna, or Fourth of July week, people are probably gonna listen to this next week. And so some of this stuff may be in the past by the time they listen to it. And how dare you people not set an alarm for Astros in orbit? What's wrong with you? We work so hard. Susie has a little knowledge. I
I
got a
know, it's
lot of
so rude.
knowledge.
I don't know what's wrong.
Exactly. No, I'm just
Ooh.
teasing. Susie, give us a quick breakdown of how the rest of the week looks like, because you guys are in Canada right now.
Yes,
Um,
we are in
and
Canada, for the next, like I said, 3 days. The last game of the series will be really interesting because it is 4th of July, and it's Fromber versus Chris Bassett, and if you know anything about Chris Bassett and Jordan, you will know that Jordan, sees Chris Bassett especially well. So, however, it is a Fromber start, so we don't know if we're gonna get good or bad Fromber. So, it it will be interesting to watch. We shall see what happens there. 3 with Toronto, no off days. It is a day game, July 4th, and then we immediately play the Minnesota Twins in Minnesota. So, Carlos Correa for the Twins has also caught fire and has kind of looked like the player that they paid for, and then we get an off day and they come home for 3 game set with Miami and a 3-game set with the Rangers, and then that leads us into the All-Star break. So, the Marlins are a strange, weird baseball team. So, they're either going to make you look like a great team or they're gonna make you look like a clown team, especially since if they beat you.
okay,
So, we shall see which of the Marlins team shows up. And we'll see which of the Rangers team shows up because they have been on the descent, the decline, if you will. Everyone was talking about how the Rangers were gonna take the AL West. Oh, maybe they'll just be in second place. And, The Astros have overcome them. They are I want to say 8 games back of the Mariners. And they were tied with the Angels a minute because the Angels have been on a winning streak. So we shall see if, which of the Texas teams, Astros, will take that series and, retain the silver boot. And then it's the All-Star break.
So, yeah, what I'm getting a thing from the Top End Rivalry Sports Desk in my ear as you were saying that. They're asking if you'd be willing to lead us in a rendition of "Oh Canada." Um, I'll get us started. What do you think?
No, I'm good.
"Oh Canada, our home and native land." No, not so much.
Nope.
All right, Susie, let's get you out of here so that you can enjoy your holiday week. I am so grateful for those of you that are listening. Or watching this either on YouTube or in the locker room. Susie is a wealth of information. She does such a great job on this show and her show. Uh, Take a look, follow her on Bourbon and Baseball Pod on Instagram, and the follow her on Instagram, follow her on everything. She's got a great YouTube channel. Go check it out. Susie, now that you're done with the Mets, you can breathe a little easier. But you guys might be tied for first place or in first place by the All-Star break. So I can see that happening.
We shall see. Fingers crossed. Fingers
Yes.
crossed.
Susie, thank you so much. Is there anything you want to wrap up with?
You can follow, PG-13 Susie over here if that's your jam. If Rated R Susie is okay with you, go follow on Bourbon and Baseball. We have 2 great editions of Bourbon and Baseball over there. We have the All the Balls edition with my co-host Kelsey, where we talk about all of the MLB teams, and then we have the Astros edition with my co-host Tom. That obviously we only talk about the Astros. And, again, if Rated R Susie is your speed, that's what you're going to go follow over there. If PG-13 Susie is more your speed, that's where you're going to stay over here on the Top Fan Rivalry Network.
So yes, make sure you're giving her follows everywhere and um just keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, I've been checking with my agent and they said that Susie's agent has yet to reach out to us to invite us on any of those shows. She claims that it's going to be happening soon. Ladies and gentlemen, there's an over under on whether or not it happens before the season ends. I'm taking the over, the way over, but we'll see. We're still waiting. Susie, my agent's waiting by the phone for the phone call from your agent.
Well, I'll have to get with them because they've told me that they left messages. Maybe I gotta clear out your voicemail. Maybe your voicemail's full. Ever think about that?
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
keep getting calls from Jimmy Crane, and it's that is what it is. So, anyway, Susie, thank you so much. Top Fan Rivalry followers, I hope you enjoyed the show. Astros and Orbit followers, make sure you're following Susie everywhere you possibly can. And let's do it again next week, Susie.
For sure. We'll see you
All right,
later.
have a good one. Bye bye.